Coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas, this is Punk Brats, a podcast focused on the lives and experiences of our military brats. We didn't serve, we got served. Now here are your Punk Brats, Rose and Lisa.
Hey everyone, this is Lisa.
Hi, it's Rose.
We're the Punk Brats. Hi, Sister Rose. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. It's good to be back with you again. I've missed you.
I've missed you. I've missed talking with
too.
you and talking to our audience.
Yeah, me too. It seems like it's been a while.
You know, I like to talk. Anyway, yes, I've missed you, and we have so much going on. Holy cow, where do we even start?
Well, let's start with our previous episode's question from Grace.
Perfect.
Okay, so Grace from Rota, Spain asked how we decided which college to attend, since it was probably difficult for us to attend college tours. And I'll just jump right in. For me, our school actually had college tours, believe it or not, even though we went to an international school in Germany. They did sponsor a college tour, but I didn't go on it because, number one, it was very expensive. Number two, they were only visiting Ivy League and some colleges in California. So I already knew that I wasn't going to be going to an Ivy League school. And I was like, yeah, this would be a waste of time and money. But mom and dad they owned a house in Texas. And my counselor told me, hey, if you want to go to school in Texas, since your parents own a home there, you can qualify for in-state tuition, even though you're going to this international school. And so that was a big decision. Although I did apply to Berkeley, Notre Dame, I wanted to go to. Boston College was another school I applied to. I did not get into Boston College, but I am happy.
So where did you end up going?
Well, I was going to say I'm happy to say that I was able to get into Notre Dame, but I ended up going to University of Texas in Austin. And I didn't know which school to go to pick in Texas either. Like when I was looking up the colleges in Texas, my counselor, I guess we didn't really have a counselor, right, Lisa? He was also our head, Mr. Hale. He was
whatever he was our friend.
Well, whoever
he wasn't really like a counselor. He was, what are they? I mean, we went to such a unique school where our teachers weren't really like teachers.
Well, anyway, that person who wore many hats in our school handed me a piece of paper with a bunch of colleges in Texas. And I remember seeing I remember Texas A&M, maybe Texas Tech, like some of the bigger ones, University of Texas. And I just was like, well, I think a school that starts with University of is probably going to be one of the top schools, right? And he goes, well, that's a way of choosing. I was like, okay. He goes, well, it's in the capital. And I was like, wow, that's super cool. So I ended up choosing the University of Texas. No affiliation whatsoever to anything. It was just some random school I picked. So that's my story as far as how I chose.
Yes, Rose is a longhorn. Well, I'm going to go into this because I didn't have a choice. My dad said, you're following your sister, pick a school in Texas. I didn't start off with a 4-year university. I actually attended the Austin Community College, which I'm very, very proud of Austin Community College. It was really a good stepping stone for me to transfer into a 4-year. And when I was ready to transfer into a 4-year, this is why I call Rose and Chris, who produces our show, Monkey Boo Productions, shout out to him. They chose UT. I went to Texas State University, where we're the Bobcats. And we're only about 45 minutes away from the University of Texas, but we're just as big as you guys. Go Bobcats, any of my fellow Bobcats out there listening. Yes, in San Marcos. But that's how I chose to go to school. Was Dad said, you're following your sister out in Texas. You're not applying anywhere else. You're going to Texas. And I'm so glad, though, because I love my life here in Texas.
Yeah, that's cool. And I didn't realize that part about where you didn't have a choice. I thought you just came to Texas because I was here and you wanted to be near me.
No, honestly, I didn't even want to go to college. I told mom and dad I'm not even going to apply because I really wasn't I got that job at the PX, making $2 an hour. And
Woo-woo.
I live in Germany where you feel like you're an adult at 17.
Yeah, I guess you were living your best life.
You're living your best life. College was far from my mind. And for those who know me and Rose, we are opposites. I mean, I'm more of an extrovert. Rose is kind of an introvert. She's the brainiac. And I mean, not that I take away anything from myself, but Rose just took school a lot more serious than I did. We'll just leave it at that. But you know what? We're both successful now. We're doing great. We made our parents proud. And yeah, Rose. So my dad, he's torn because he's a Notre Dame fan. So whether it's NFL football or college football or whatever, I swear to God, nobody in our family agrees on any teams really except baseball, the Yankees. Right? That's it.
I think so.
Well, I mean, like when I say family, you, me, and dad.
Yeah.
But Patty, our baby sister, once again, not a Yankees fan. She's
on her own little island.
And then look, my husband, he doesn't even like baseball. Craig likes what, Rose? What is your man like?
The Detroit Tigers, who are doing amazing. I think they're in first place right now, so I get to hear about that.
Hey, no matter what, we have Judge on the Yankees, so nobody can compare to Judge. Although he didn't do very well in the World Series last year, but hey, he's making up for it. So that's how I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you, Grace. That's a really cool question.
Mm-hmm. So you know what? I was checking out the Stars and Stripes newspaper, and I read this article. I was born at Fort Hood, Texas, and they changed the name to Fort Cavazos. And well, it's back to Fort Hood, Rose.
That is super cool because that segues right into my Did You Know? So 7 more U.S. Army bases reverted back to their previous names, but not to honor their original namesakes. Instead, they found like different military heroes that had the same names. So let me go back a little bit. They originally changed them a couple of years ago. I think it was 2023 because the people that they named the Army bases after were Confederate soldiers.
Okay.
And so they passed a law, I guess Congress, this is going off the top of my head, so y'all out there, if you need to fact check me, but Congress passed a law that you can't name anything like ships, bases, posts, anything after anybody who had committed acts of treason or sedition against the United States, which would, I guess the Confederate soldiers would fall under that category.
Okay.
So they changed them.
Okay.
However, and you probably fall into this category, Lisa, a lot of people did not like that.
What?
I mean, because that is like, especially for us older brats. And,
you're saying, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I didn't like the name changed. That's our identity, right?
Thing too. Yes.
Yeah. So,
it could be a generational thing. Cause like I was born at Fort Hood. I've said Fort Hood for a few years,
right?
So,
right.
to go those how many years has it been, Cavazos?
Like 2 years.
Okay, so I blinked and there was a different name, and now I blinked again, and now you're saying it's Hood again, but it's not the original Hood dude.
So basically, what they did to get around that, because they are still named after military heroes, is they went and they found military heroes with the same names and honored them instead. So, for example, let's use Fort Hood. Fort Hood was named after John Bell Hood, who was a Confederate general during the Civil War, the American Civil War. And they renamed it to Fort Cavazos in 2023. But it's changed back to Fort Hood after a Distinguished Service Cross recipient, Colonel Robert B. Hood, for his valor during World War I. So
I never knew Hood's first name or what his background was or anything, because I never really paid attention to that as a brat. So I just said Fort Hood. When, as brats overseas, where are you from? Where were you born? Fort Hood.
Right.
But now that's interesting. Thank you. I learned something from your Did You Know?
Yeah.
Hey.
So I think that's
speaking
cool.
of, you know what? Speaking of Fort Hood in Texas, for our fellow Texans out there, as we record this, in the last week, we've had a horrible tragedy. We've had some floods hit us. Unfortunately, we were in a drought. And so these floods within 45 minutes flooded a county that's only like an hour and a half from us. where the punk brats reside. And unfortunately, there's a lot of folks and children missing. So please pray for Texas. I'm just devastated, Rose, but I am so proud to be from Texas and seeing all of our volunteers and our military, our community members, leaders of businesses, everybody, regardless of their background, is coming together right now and saving Texas and doing the best we can to help those. But Rose, man, I feel sorry for the animals too. I mean, I feel sorry for people. Don't get me wrong, right?
Right.
Of course, naturally, we're human, but it's also sad seeing some of these displaced animals. So, I'm not trying to bring us down, but I want those out there, those people out there, to pray for us.
I remember talking to you, and you were telling me how you can't even open up your TikTok now because it just makes you so sad to see all the animals and just the devastating news coming from Kerrville, which, like Lisa said, like an hour and a half from where we currently are. And I concur with Lisa, like just seeing the communities come together, everybody just coming together. Our HEB, I've been seeing all these memes where HEB is on top of it even faster than FEMA. Texans don't need FEMA.
Yeah, Texans have each other. We're Texans.
We have each other, and we've got HEB and we got Whataburger.
And I'm going to plug our parent company who produces us, Hats Off for Veterans, has partnered with Amazon, our local Amazon. And we ourselves are giving out donations and to our first responders and volunteers. And I'm really proud of that. But I don't want to take too much time on this because, it is sad. But yet I do want everybody to know out there that we're going to be okay. Texas is going to, we always come back, right? Texas strong.
Hooah, Texas strong.
Yes. All right. So tell me about this guy, Andrew Scott, we're about to interview. I'm looking forward to talking to him. You know why? Because they're like they go hunting and they do all this fun outdoor stuff with their veterans, And I just love that they're kind of unique and different like that because it reminds me back in the day when I used to work for hospice and I worked with the Children's Bereavement Camp. We would take kids camping, Camp Heart Song, shout out to Camp Heart Song, that we would go camping and let the kids fish or go canoeing, kayaking, and make s'mores and all the while talking about their lost loved one.
Right.
Well, it's kind of like Frontline Heroes does the same thing. They take their veterans out and they do hands-on activities outdoors, all the while, I don't know, peer-to-peer support, comforting each other, right? Through PTSD struggles and all that. But Rose, man, tell me about Andrew.
Well, Andrew is someone who knows all about brat life. I mean, he found his own way to serve in the military, even though he couldn't personally enlist. So he is a co-founder of Frontline Heroes Outdoors, which is a badass nonprofit that helps veterans and first responders reconnect through outdoor adventures.
Wow. You ready to hear some stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. And right before we bring Andrew out, let me just plug our phone number and everything, you guys. Looking forward to talking to Andrew, but really quick, take down our phone number. We would love to hear from our fellow brats or anybody. Anybody who wants to call our number and share a story, ask a question, and at the end of the podcast interview, it rolls into that phone call. So don't hang up too quickly or hit stop on your podcast when you're listening to us because these phone calls are awesome and we really love these questions that we get. But anyway, call us at 512-254-5989. Our website is www.punkbrats.com. Email Rose or Lisa at info@punkbrats.com. Our social media, follow us on Instagram, punkbratsusa, and follow us on Facebook and TikTok at punkbrats. All right, Rose, let's bring Andrew out. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining us on Punk Brats. I'm Lisa.
Hi, and I'm Rose.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Absolutely. So long story short, you guys, I was just looking through Instagram, social media stuff, and came upon this really cool reel and wanted to see more about who are these people because they seem like they're veteran friendly and this and that. And come to find out, I came upon Frontline Heroes Outdoors and met Andrew, and here we are.
So, Andrew, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience? You can start with where you were born, what branch of the military you are, Brat, and just take us through like graduation.
Yeah, so I am Army Brat through and through. I was born on a cold, very cold February night in Fairbanks, Alaska, Fort Wainwright.
Ooh.
Yes,
Cold.
it was negative 35 degrees. They were going to send my mother home because they didn't think she was ready. But they said, it's a little too cold. We're gonna keep you here. About 4 hours later, I made my entrance.
Wow.
So we were there after I was born. I was only there for about 6 months. And then we actually moved to Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, while my dad was in residency. My dad was a dentist, but also specialized in different kinds of oral surgeries. So we were here for a couple of years, and then we went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We were there for a couple of years. And then I entered school age. We were in DeRidder, Louisiana, at Fort Polk, Louisiana. We were there for 4 years. So I spent, kindergarten through third grade there. Then we spent 1 year at the War College at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. We were there for 1 year. Then we came back to San Antonio, where my dad was in command. That was through 5th through 10th grade. And then we moved to West Point. We were at the military academy.
West Point.
And that is actually where I finished high school. That was 11th through 12th grade. And then right after that, 3 days after I graduated high school up there, because high school, they start school later up there. So I didn't graduate until end of June. And then we moved back to San Antonio. And then I went off to college in Oklahoma.
Okay. Really quick. Is your dad originally from Texas?
He is not. So my parents were actually high school sweethearts
Nice.
in a small town called Hinesville, Georgia, which is right outside of Fort Stewart. And then they both went to college there in Georgia. My dad also went to med school in Georgia.
What did he get out as?
So he finished as a full bird colonel.
Okay.
He chose different routes. He could have moved up more if he wanted to into the general position. But I think he was more worried about being close to my mom, didn't want to be traveling as much as generals usually do. And they also knew that they wanted to retire here in San Antonio. So, because once we came back to San Antonio, he actually went to the Pentagon for 3 years and then moved himself back so they could retire here.
Wow.
Okay. So, as with all our guests, and it seems like you've made quite a few moves. When people ask you where you're from, how do you answer that question? And how does it make you feel? Like, do you get anxiety or is it just another question?
No. So I consider myself a Texan.
Yay, good answer.
I consider myself a Texan.
I'm a native.
Yeah, because you've lived all over, all different states. It looks like, but you're in Texas, a few times, like in between. What did you say it was like 5th through 10th grade?
Yes. So like when I was 6 months to, I don't know, a year and a half, I was here. Then we came back 5th through 10th grade. So yeah, San Antonio has been at least half my life.
And then they take you to New York to graduate at West Point?
I did. Yes. I graduated high school up at
So you're
West
like
Point.
Rose. Rose spent her last 2 years of high school in a completely different high school. She thought she was going to make it 4 years in Japan until my dad, that look. We all know that look.
When they bring you ice cream and they're really nice to you.
Oh, no. My husband got bribed and his mother was like, what are we going to have to do for you? So you're not going to complain, because this was like Chris's 12th move. He had 6 weeks left in his junior year, and they're uprooting him to move him to Texas. That's after he'd already lived in Los Alamos for like almost 5 years, 4 years, whatever it was. The longest ever. But my husband moved around a lot as an Air Force brat. Wow. So with all those places, not Texas, because you say that's home to you, what base or town really felt more like home to you, would feel more like is a second home to you?
Outside of San Antonio?
Yeah. Well, outside of Texas, like the other places, like for example, yes, Texas is my home. But I loved Camp Zama in Japan. And I would say that's my second home as a military brat.
I would probably say DeRidder, Louisiana. A lot of people, when they think about Fort Polk, it's not generally thought of as a great place to go to because a lot of people that go there are either transitioning to deploy or something like that. But my childhood there was absolutely fantastic.
But when you say childhood, how old?
So I was kindergarten through third grade, and I had a massive group of friends. We were all very close. We all spent the night at each other's houses. We did bonfires. We did go-karting because a lot of where we lived was kind of out in the country area. So I was not happy when we left.
We all know that feeling too, right?
I bet. And first through third grade, those are like your foundational years. Those are like where you're really, the friends that you make. I mean, it's just so. I don't know. I remember those years. I moved, I think, 3 times during those years.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was kind of tough because I knew we were moving to someplace for 1 year and 1 year only, with a great view of a beautiful penitentiary.
My gosh, I can imagine. I think you're the first person, military brat, we've talked to that has lived in Fort Leavenworth.
Yeah.
Right?
Where's that again?
Fort Leavenworth, Kansas.
Wait, didn't Scott Parks, Rose?
Oh.
Season 1, our guest, our very first guest ever.
Okay, we might have had another one. But yeah,
that's a while ago.
That's where we all know is like the jail.
But I might be wrong, so we'll have to fact check that. We'll have to fact check that against Scott Parks. But
we actually had one day where we had to stay home from school because somebody actually broke out.
Oh, wow.
So we had to lock our doors.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because our house was probably not even a mile from the penitentiary.
So this penitentiary was that's where the hardcore people go, right? This is not like a little nice, hey, let's make license plates. This is hardcore.
This is like, this is the
Alcatraz.
Jail.
Alcatraz.
For military, yeah.
Yeah, for the military.
I've seen that movie Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood, and it was pretty hardcore. I don't know. You're probably too young, Andrew, to see that movie, but watch it. It's really good.
So speaking of the military and your dad serving 35 years, which is so impressive.
Nice.
Did you ever want to serve in the military, or did you ever contemplate or think about going into the military yourself?
I did. I did want to go into the military, even before I graduated college. I kind of took the long route to graduate college, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But unfortunately, I was born with a bilateral sensory neuro hearing impairment. And it basically, I had hearing problems from born until now. And, 20 years ago, I was under the line to be able to serve because my hearing. So I wasn't be able to serve. I wouldn't been able to have been an officer. So unfortunately, I didn't get to serve. But yes, I did. I did want to serve in the military.
You served in spirit because, my God, you stepped up and you were willing to sign that line. So, Andrew, I still commend you and thank you. In my heart, you served.
And we'll get more into the organization that you work with, but clearly that didn't stop you from serving in your own way.
Exactly.
And we can get into talking about that journey as well.
Wait, can we go back about your dad one more thing? Okay, sure. You said dentist, oral surgeon, right? So your whole family have perfect teeth? Right?
We all had braces. So,
man, that's the dentist's son on the base. Who's that? That's the dentist's son. Right?
I never wanted to come home from the dentist telling my dad if I had any problems. That's for sure. He'd get mad at me if I had a cavity or something.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Sugarless gum was was in my house. I didn't get to chew gum like with sugar.
I bet.
That was a treat. If I did well on a test or something, my dad would get me a little piece of bazooka
Stop.
gum.
Oh, stop it.
Oh my God. That's one of my favorites, by the way. I grew up on Hubba Bubba Bubba gum or Hubba Bubba.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Our dentist in Japan, Lisa, I don't know if you remember, but his last name was Decay, like D and then Kay.
Was it Captain Decay?
I can't remember, but he was the dentist. And I always thought that was so funny. Well, we were talking about, like I said, you serving in your own way, which brings us to your organization. I'd really like to kind of get into talking about that. The Frontline Heroes Outdoors. So can you tell us a little bit about that and what inspired you with this organization, to work with this organization?
Yeah. So Frontline Heroes Outdoors is a Texas-based 501c3, 100% nonprofit. Nobody, including us as co-founders, all the way to our mission coordinators, which is what we call our staff, take a dime. All volunteer-based. All the money that we raise goes right back into the organization. And what we do is we take military, both veteran active duty, law enforcement, first responders, and their families and Gold Star families out on any kind of excursion you can name for free.
Wow.
So, and when we, a lot of people look at our name and they say, oh, outdoors, oh, like hunting, fishing. We do a lot of that, but we also say not just outdoors, it's outside the front door. So we do arcade nights. We've done axe throwing. We've done recently we did a suite at the Spurs game for 20 members. So it's not just hunting, it's anything. And we always talk to our staff and say, hey, any idea that you guys have. We've done spa days for females.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you need to let us know when you have one of those.
I will. Sure will.
Okay.
Wow. I love that. It's
Me too.
the whole outside the front door, because that makes such perfect sense.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And you're the events director, right?
I am. So I'm one of the co-founders and the events director. So I kind of have oversight on all the events that we do, or most of the events that we do. Sometimes it can get overbearing.
Yeah.
And some of the other board members will kind of step up, help do certain things. And we have an absolute incredible board made up of 5 of us.
Okay.
All of us have our strengths. All of them are intelligent, college educated, but we gel very well. I mean, we have our times where we have to figure things out. There's rough times, but we always come together and get things figured out. And our growth has just been insane.
Congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
That's a great
Thank
thing.
you.
That's awesome.
I appreciate it. We actually didn't become a official 501c3 until last January, January of 24. And as of to this day now, so almost 18 months, we've got 3 chapters in Texas.
Wow.
And we have already taken out this year alone almost 300 members.
Wow. Yeah. The Punk Brats will do what we can to get the word out for you. Definitely.
Yeah. I can't wait to even look more into this. That sounds fantastic. So how did this come about? And how did the outdoor adventures or, nature-based experiences, just stuff outside your front door, how does that help people heal from trauma and, or to reconnect after service? Where did it all did you sit down one day and we're like, oh, boom, I'm going to do this?
Who thought of this this organization, and how did it come about? Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I had told Lisa before that's kind of unique is the president of our organization Preston Wall is actually one of my best friends of 30 years. So we met here in San Antonio. You know, he used to ride his bike over to my house when I was 9 years old.
Love it.
And
Wait, how old were you guys?
9.
Oh,
Yep. So
love these stories.
Yeah, me
we
too.
kept a strong friendship. You know, obviously I moved around after leaving San Antonio. He stayed here. Then he also went into the Air Force. So he was in the Air Force and he was overseas. Even that kind of, we were able to keep our friendship together. We talked anytime he came home. We got together and it was kind of like one of those, it's just like old times. You just pick right up where you left off. He started working, or we worked with another nonprofit a couple years ago, national based, and we started thinking about it, and he kind of came up with it and was like, we've got a lot to do just here in the state of Texas. And we do. I mean, San Antonio has over 500,000 veterans alone.
Wow.
And we were able to bring in other people that had the same passion as us. And we started forming Frontline Heroes Outdoors. And most of us are hunters. Like we love the outdoors. So we enjoy doing that. But we knew we wanted to expand it. We didn't want to just be known as, oh, this is just hunting and fishing. Because you have your percentage of veterans that enjoy doing that, but then you have a larger percentage that have never done it or don't really it doesn't appeal to them. So we were like, what can we do to make it even better, to make everybody can participate? All these members can participate in stuff. It gives them something to want to do. So that's when kind of like outside the door, and we just started throwing ideas out. And we were like, hey, anybody that can think of an idea, whatever it is, an event, something, go-karting, whatever, let's do it. So that's what we did.
So the proceeds that you guys raise is kind of like a scholarship to veterans to come and attend these fun things, and they don't have to pay for it. Is it all at no cost?
So yes, all the funds that we raise go into help funding either these activities or these hunts. And usually what we tell them is everything is taken care of other than transportation. We don't usually
so they have to get to you guys. Okay. That's
get to us, but like with the hunts, with the activities, we pay for the activities, the food, you name it.
Is there lodging? Are these overnight things?
So several of our hunts will be like over the weekend. Yes, there's lodging. We pay for the lodging. Even with hunts, we pay for the meat processing. We pay for the taxidermy work for their mounts. So we cover it all, and we do different kinds of hunts. We've been able to host some incredible people. Now, some of our hunts are very specific to Purple Hearts. Like we've done Purple Heart hunts, or we have a Bronze Star hunt coming up, and the people can join for free. That's what's great about this. If they go to our website, www.frontlineheroesoutdoors.org, they can go on military, law enforcement, first responders, Gold Star members. They can sign up for free. Once they sign up, every hunt or any activity that we do, we send out an email so they know what's going on. They can hit an RSVP button, which puts them into basically the lottery. Yeah. And then we will run the lottery depending on how many people can go to this event. Once they're chosen, we reach out to them and the fun begins.
Wow. Rose, we're going to have to check that out.
I know, this is so exciting.
Yeah,
I love the whole concept of the whole thing.
Yeah, me too. Because a lot of military brats are veterans.
Yeah.
And so we definitely
want to enforcement and first responders.
Yes.
A lot of military brats are just kind of brought up to serve, and if they don't serve in that way, they find some other capacity to serve, such as yourself. So
I mean, you're not only an Army brat, but you're also married. You said you have 2 kids. You're married to an educator. How do your own experiences growing up shape how you raise your own family? Like,
I would say my wife and I are pretty similar to the way we were raised. I think myself coming from a military family, my dad wasn't one of those like keep your nose to the grinder kind of person, but he did always just expect me to do my best.
mm-hmm.
It's obviously stay out of trouble, which
Yeah.
is kind of hard to do when you get into high school and stuff like that. So, I would always push the buttons, but they were always firm, but very understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's a good way to put it as a military parent. Firm. I like that word.
Yeah. And I wasn't the greatest student growing up. Like, I had to work harder than others. But they always sat down, and that's the one thing that I will tell you about my father. He's one of the smartest people I know. He'll never brag about himself. He was very humble, even when he was in the military. But for an example, he was a double major, bio and mathematics in college. And when he got into med school, his fall of senior year, he was like, I don't need math. I'm just going to drop it. So I got where I need to go. But he has several credentials, several accolades behind his name that's very respected in the military, even now. And then
would you like to share your dad's full name?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to share your father's full name?
Arthur Charles Scott.
Thank you for your service, sir, if you're listening.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, you guys, guess what? I hate to interrupt you, but guess what it's time for? It's time for the lightning round.
Yay. Okay, so
I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, good. So you're familiar with it. Of course, for our audience, this is just for them, just a series of rapid fire questions. Just say whatever comes to the front of your mind. Don't have to think too hard about it. If you really are stumped, you can say pass. That's okay. I am coming back to it.
Yeah, we come back to it.
Okay, so this is just for our audience to get to know you better. So, okay, first question. What's the favorite base you lived on?
Actually, West Point.
Okay.
The history was incredible, and all the hanging out with the cadets was awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so as a kid, were you a rule follower or a rule bender?
I was a pure black sheep in the family. Okay. So I was a rule bender for sure. I have no problems admitting it.
Okay, so which superhero are you taking on a hunting or wilderness trip?
Batman.
Oh, okay, cool. Brat life in one word.
Tough.
I would agree.
Okay, would you rather fish in a lake or deep sea fish?
Deep sea fishing. I grew up I'm from Georgia, so the Atlantic.
Okay. Okay, what is your campfire snack of choice? Like s'mores, jerky, or something else?
S'mores, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your first car?
It was a 96 Eddie Bauer Ford Explorer.
Wow, you put that word Eddie Bauer in there.
Hey, that leather. You gotta, that leather line.
Right? Okay, what is your favorite season for outdoor adventures? Spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Winter.
Okay, and something that is always in your refrigerator.
Oh, man. Water. We drink a lot of water around here, so bottled water is a must.
And one of my favorite questions to ask all our military brats, what is your favorite sports team?
The Georgia Bulldogs. College football is my big thing. Go Dogs. Go Dogs.
Yay!
I'm a Longhorn, so that one cuts.
I'm a Bobcat, but
Yep. We'll see you in Athens this year.
yay, you guys. You got through the
well, you survived that.
lightning
That
round.
was awesome.
You know what makes it fun for me is that, Andrew, I never know what the questions are. And I purposely, now I can flip over and look at it. See, I don't want to know because I try to play along in my head and I like to laugh at see your reactions to those questions. But Rose, those were funny, man.
So funny.
Oh my God.
I do want to touch on one though. So you said Batman to take on a hunting trip.
Why?
Just curious.
I mean, he never misses his mark.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, when you're hunting, you got to hit your mark, and he's just cool.
Yeah, he is cool. For some reason, because when I was like trying to think of questions for you, I was like, oh, and sometimes like Lisa says, I answer them in my own head, and I was like, who would I take? And it's like, I don't know, maybe Superman. Like he can listen and like point to where I need to be. I don't know, but that's so cool, and I'm just fascinated by all the hunting stuff because I've recently, well, not recently, but I just admire hunters so much because I just really think they are the true conservationists of our environment. The true environmentalists and the true just in touch with nature. And my son likes to hunt as well. And I just had one rule from him, especially coming from California, we're a little different, but I was just like, anything that anything that you shoot or you take the life of, you have to eat. That was my
or do
one
something
rule.
with it.
And use as much of the animal as you can.
Right.
And one day I came down and he and his cousin had a little grill and there were some frogs on this grill. And I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? He's like, Mom, I'm so sorry. I accidentally killed this frog. So we're going to eat it.
Well,
I'll never forget it. He was like 7. And I was like,
and then they started eating frog legs. He started eating
yes,
frog
and then he
legs
just started eating. And yeah, he's very adventurous.
Shout out to my nephew Lucas out there. Love you.
Yeah. And then ever since, I was just going to say ever since
the
then.
Conservation stuff. Like
yeah,
a lot of people think about hunting as, these people are killing animals and all that stuff. But a lot of people don't understand, and some of the hunts that we do are strictly for meat. So they're like does. It's not like they're going after a trophy buck or something like that. We do meat hunt because, a lot of these families, can't afford
look,
to buy meat and stuff like that.
It could feed a lot of families for sure.
It can. And a lot of times, these people will tell us, they're just like, you guys filled our freezer for the year.
That's amazing.
I can't thank you enough. And that right there, and a point, I didn't answer, Rose, to one of your questions earlier, what you said, the healing process part of it. Do we expect to save lives? That's not, obviously that's a goal. That's right. The ultimate goal is what you want. But what is it going to do is, one, it's going to show these people that you care.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of these people that, one, can't afford these opportunities.
Right.
2, you have a lot of these people that have a very tough time transitioning from military to civilian. And when they have that, they start to spiral into depression. And what are you going to do when you're depressed? You're going to sit in the dark on your couch watching TV. And this is our chance to say, hey, all you got to do is get yourself there. We'll take care of everything else. And that's the reward, is after these events are over, we have people that have opened themselves up to us with their PTSD. They have opened themselves about depression. Just somebody to talk to, somebody that shows them that
it's like a peer-to-peer.
It is.
I love that. Well, can you tell our listeners, especially our brats, but tell our listeners, please, to support, how can they support your mission? Or
give your website again, your phone number, how they can donate. Just give all the information so we can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so it's real simple. You can go to our website at www.frontlineheroesoutdoors.org. All goes together, no hyphen. There are ways, if you want, you can donate any amount. We are not picky, whether it's $1, $5, $100, whatever. And kind of like I said, all that money goes right back into the organization. You can contact myself. I have no problems giving you my phone number. It's 210-273-2987. It's my cell phone. I
You
keep
sure
it
you
on
want to
me
do that?
all the time. Why not?
Awesome.
I'm kidding.
Why not?
Yeah, awesome. Very awesome. Cool.
So,
Thank
is there
you for
anything
all
coming
y'all
up
doing.
that you're especially excited about before we?
Oh
we
yeah. What do you
conclude
want to
here?
promote?
Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, so we've got some really exciting hunts coming up that we're very excited about, but also September 20th, we have our second annual a Heroes Night to Remember banquet that will be hosted here in Helotes, Texas, which is just right outside of San Antonio, at a place called Pedrati's Ranch. It is a very nice center. Last year, our first year, we had over 500 people. This year, we are slating to have about 600. That's what we're hoping for, but we have a bunch of raffles. We have silent auctions. We have live auctions. You name it. I mean, this is a full-blown banquet, and we are so excited. And it really is a big part of our year for raising funds. So you can go on our website. You can buy tickets. They just went live.
Repeat that website again. Repeat the website again.
www.frontlineheroesoutdoors.org.
Okay, and we'll link it on our page as well.
Yeah. Also short for FOE.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I just want you to know that Punk Brats, we are a community project of our parent company, Hats Off for Veterans. So we will be making a donation on behalf of our parent company to your organization. And the other surprise is we are attending your gala. So we'll see you there.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. It would be an
It's
honor.
going to be a fun night.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun night. Okay, you sure you can handle Rose and Lisa? The Punk Brats are coming in town.
You better give me the biggest hug once you see me.
And you guys, this will be played later on, of course, but they have to hear it again as repeats. This is 2025 when you gave the date, because I'm hoping we're around for a long time, But
that was September 20th.
Yes, September 20th, 2025. You guys go to their website. They got tickets for their gala. This is the way that they raise their money to help reach and help Texas veterans. And when we say Texas veterans, y'all, we help all veterans. I mean, it's just, we say Texas, but of course we support all veterans. But we do focus on Texas, but because we love our state. And
We
Andrew,
do.
just to throw in on the end of there, because we're going to have to cut this soon, but I support the Dallas Cowboys as my favorite team. I know y'all are college people, but I'm not really into college football. I love my Dallas Cowboys. Everybody in my family makes fun of me. Can you please tell me who your favorite NFL team is?
It's funny that you say that, because
Stalling. You should just say Dallas Cowboys immediately.
I just pledged my allegiance to the Dallas Cowboys.
Rose, did you hear that?
Gosh,
Rose,
that
did you
hurts.
hear that?
As of last week. And
I've
Preston
received
will
10
show you a
memes.
video if you want to.
I swear to God, I've received 10 memes from all my family members on my phone that I just, but you know what? Dallas Cowboys forever, right? Rose is just stumped.
Silent.
Why don't you tell them who you like, Rose?
Oh, everybody knows I love the New York Giants.
And I wear a New York Yankees cap. I know it's kind of weird because I love all New York teams because my dad, but I was born at Fort Hood, Texas. And the star represents, I don't know, for me, the stars always represent Fort Hood. So on that note, can we end it on that note?
Well, thanks
Thank
again,
you,
guys,
Andrew.
for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And Rose,
Thank you.
how do you close us out, Rose?
Okay, so we don't say goodbye to our guests. We always say see you later. So see you later.
We'll see you later.
See you later. Wow. Wow. Another great interview with Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Doesn't that, after talking to Andrew, doesn't it make you want to, I don't know, do some type of outdoor excursion with them?
Yeah, I just want to put on my hiking boots and just like go outside. It is.
Me
It's
too.
like sunshine, or not even sunshine, because you can't. The weather's not always great when you go hunting, but just like I loved how he brought up the fact that it's not just outdoors; it's outside your front door.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
and you know what? I so admire him because his passion, I mean, his patriotism, like he couldn't go into the military himself because of his hearing disability, but it didn't stop him. And the fact that his best friend since he was 9 years old, shout out to Preston, Frontline Heroes Outdoors. He's also one of the co-founders, but they've been best friends since 9 years old, and they're doing this together. I just love that. That's really special to me. I like that. And especially their partnership, like the fact that they're partnering with Hats Off for Veterans and other nonprofits. You know what? As a nonprofit organization, we have to work together. If we compete against each other, it's just not the work won't get done. And especially for our veterans. So the fact that we're all networking together and sharing our information and sharing our network and working together, that's what it's all about. So thank you, Andrew Scott. Rose, did you know that we've had a lot of Scotts? We had Sage Scott in season 1.
Yeah.
And then we've had Scott Parks. Oh, Scott Parks was episode 1. And then Sage Scott was the second. Then we had Larry Scott Teakle. And now we have Andrew Scott.
Right. So if your name is Scott out there, you're probably destined to be a guest on our show.
Right? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Again, you guys give us a call, 254. Oh, sorry, let me give you the area code. Area code for Austin, Texas, 512-254-5989. Give us a call. We love your questions, right, Rose? I mean, like,
yeah. We like them so much that we start off each episode with a question that we choose from our voicemail. So maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones that we choose.
Yeah. Ask us anything or share a story if you're a brat. I know there's some stories because look at episode 1, the one we kicked off, season 1, episode 1. Rose and I talk about taking Metallica back to our military base to watch the Super Bowl in 1987, Giants versus the Broncos.
Giants
Best
won.
night of my life. Giants won. She snuck that in there because she knows I'm a Cowboys fan. But the fact that, how many military brats get to say they took a band like Metallica, who at the time were not who at the level that they were at. They were still starting out, Master of Puppets. So, just share your unique stories with us. We want to hear them because we know you have them. Yep. Anything else, Rose?
Nope. This is the part where we say, see you later.
See you later.
Hi, Punk Brats. My name is Paul from Eugene, Oregon. My question is, what's the coolest or most random souvenir you've collected from all your moves?